Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're unpacking something truly unique. This isn't your typical deep dive into, a research paper or a news report. Instead, we're delving into a foundational text for a vision called Journey to the West, Episode 1, from Lóng Tíng and Lóng Tíng Enterprises. Our mission really is to understand the essence of this Journey to the West project and, well, the philosophy behind Lóng Tíng Enterprises itself. How something profound can start, well, in stillness. So the source material kicks off with this fascinating idea. Before even the first voice, there's something else, a vibration.
Yeah, something deeper than just sound. It's described almost poetically, like breath becoming meaning or memory stirring.
And it suggests great stories don't start with action, but with tuning into what matters.
Exactly, tuning into what's waiting.
Yeah.
So Journey to the West, it seems, didn't launch with a bang. It started quietly, where longing meets courage.
This tuning idea, it sounds crucial.
It really does. What's fascinating here is the emphasis on presence, on intention, before anything concrete happens. It suggests, a very different kind of preparation. This tuning isn't just a metaphor for planning, It's presented as foundational readiness, prioritizing resonance, deep listening, over just being loud or visible right away. It feels like a methodology, really, seeking alignment first.
And it's a big undertaking, clearly. The source says Lóng Tíng Enterprises first whispered the idea out there, a concert across Asia, but also covering memory, ritual, relationship. That's ambitious.
Very. And the text acknowledges the uncertainties, right? Would people have time? Would big institutions get it? Would artists feel that connection?
Right. Those are real questions, especially if you're starting with a whisper. How did they handle that? Well, it seems they went with trust. The first sort of official outreach was letters, carefully crafted letters to ministries, embassies, foundations, artists across Asia.
And crucially, the source says it was a signal, not like a promotion.
Exactly. And then something pretty amazing happened. Barely 20 minutes after sending, a reply came back.
20 minutes, that's incredibly fast for that kind of outreach.
Right, and it wasn't some standard template. It was, get this, a full-hearted, handwritten message from an artist they'd personally invited. And the artist wrote, I'm quoting here, "Reading your letter truly moved me. The vision behind Journey to the West, Voices Across Borders, resonates deeply with me not only as an artist, but as someone who believes in the power of cultural memory, poetic storytelling, and transnational connection."
Wow, that's powerful. Immediate resonance.
Totally. And then the commitment. "Please count me in both in spirit and in presence." Just one voice, but the source says its clarity was so profound the project could sort of exhale.
Like confirmation.
Yeah, a vital connection made. The text really hammers this point. Resonance doesn't start with volume. It starts with readiness.
A readiness.
And with that one connection, the journey properly began its outward path.
That kind of immediate personal response is incredibly rare, especially in the formal world of institutions and big projects. Connecting this to Lóng Tíng's whole approach, it really suggests the invitation tapped into something deeper, shared human values, not just a professional gig.
Right, more than just logistics.
Exactly. This authentic connection says a lot about the project's nature, but also about Lóng Tíng's way of doing things. Genuine connection first. It really highlights their philosophy. Real impact starts with that deep resonance, not just casting a wide, impersonal net.
Okay, so that brings us to the deeper purpose, reclaiming musical memory. The source talks about music not just as entertainment, but as diplomatic language, spiritual connective tissue, cultural bridge work. That sounds huge.
It does, and it makes you think, doesn't it?
How can music actually do that, though, beyond just, a nice concert?
Well, it poses that question. What if our strongest diplomacy isn't always through policy docs and signatures? What if it's through shared human experience, cultural expression?
Like a flute.
Yeah, the source uses examples like that, a bamboo flute passed down. Or harmony being the negotiation, not arguing. And maybe the most radical agreement, it suggests, is simply singing together.
Bypassing the usual channels?
Exactly. Creating that common ground of shared humanity that politics often struggles with.
Because music, fundamentally, doesn't really respect borders, does it?
Not at all. It belongs to breath, rituals, lullabies, things history books might forget.
So Journey to the West isn't just putting on a show. It's framed as trying to restore music to its sacred role, messenger, witness, healer.
Precisely. And in a world that's just flooded with noise, the goal seems to be creating a space for quiet resonance. something that travels, as the source puts it, not through wires, but through soul.
Soul, okay, that's a high bar. So where are things right now with Journey to the West?
Well, the source gives some concrete updates. First, planning meetings have happened.
Okay.
That first artist has responded with real heart, as we discussed. And these cultural bridges are already forming quietly. Right. From Hanoi to Seoul, Tokyo, Paris, Berlin, Beijing. It's already connecting places.
And interestingly, this deep dive and the playlist that goes with it, they're positioned as part of the work itself.
Yes. That idea that the process is the performance.
The letter is the stage. The first reply is the overture. That's quite a concept.
It really reinforces that idea that progress isn't always the big, flashy stuff. It's often in these foundational steps. The quiet connections, the resonance building. It means every interaction, every bit of prep, every shared intention. It all has value in itself. It is the project, not just steps towards the project.
I see. So it's happening now in these moments. And there's more to come. Next waves.
That's what the source indicates. More letters going out.
Described as dragons carrying messages, not of power, but of presence. That's quite the image.
It is.
Yeah.
And they're going to ministers, musicians, people who maybe have been waiting for something like this. Something that seeks in silence first.
And the source directly addresses you, the listener, here, saying you're part of this rising, a carrier.
Yeah, it suggests maybe you've been waiting for this call, perhaps without even realizing it.
So the invitation is open. Come, bring your voice, bring your stillness, bring what only you can bring.
Even though the stage isn't built yet, the lights aren't lit.
But the gathering, it's
Yeah.
already started. We've talked a lot about Journey to the West, but you mentioned it's part of a bigger picture. Lóng Tíng Enterprises.
That's right.
So who are they exactly? The core mission seems to be connecting real-world change with meaningful design based on clarity, connection, commitment.
Yes, and that philosophy plays out across 4 really distinct but interconnected project areas. Quite impressive. First up is Global Leadership Insights 2030, the book and companion.
Okay, a book.
A big one. Over 888 pages, multilingual, due in 2025. It focuses on what the source calls intersectional ethics, planetary futures, and inner clarity for diverse leaders. And that inner clarity bit, for example, it's not just navel-gazing. The source mentions specific frameworks for ethical decision-making, cross-cultural understanding, practical stuff within leadership.
Got it. Comprehensive. What's next?
Second is the podcast and media platform LóngTíngVoices.
Ah, like what we're doing now, but their official hub.
Exactly. Their YouTube channel and podcast platform. It hosts the Global Leadership Insight series, Think Ethics, Sustainability, Cyber Leadership, but also special episodes. Things like global culture, how the concert is developing, identity, embodied practice. It really seems to embody their philosophy of deep, presence-based dialogue.
Okay, media platform. Third.
Then there's Energy NUE Renewable. Ethical. Strategic. Their sustainability innovation line.
NUE, New Universal Energy.
That's it. It combines clean energy models, policy consulting, regenerative design, and importantly, global youth engagement, especially Southeast Asia and Africa. And notice the ethical and strategic. That ties right back to the Lóng Tíng focus on clarity and connection, ensuring energy solutions are responsible, long-term, community-focused.
Makes sense. And the fourth area?
And finally, back to where we started, Journey to the West official concert series.
Their flagship cultural production.
Right. Bringing Asian artists together, that transnational experience we talked about, cultural diplomacy, memory restoration, shared expression. It ties back to the core by showing how that deep, soulful connection can spark collective action. So all 4 areas really show them working at that intersection. Leadership, education, culture, sustainability. It's quite holistic.
And the founder behind all this is Lóng Tíng. The source mentions her motivation, feeling like existing structures were missing something.
Yeah, it seems she saw systems that were maybe efficient but lacked soul, conversations that were smart but disconnected, solutions that missed the silence they grew from.
So she wanted to build something that could hold contradictions, like vision and contradiction, structure and intuition.
Exactly. Global thinking and grounded presence. A place for strategy and stillness, leadership and love, memory and innovation, all together. And that really does challenge the usual assumption that innovation has to be about speed, about disruption. Here, it seems the focus is depth, integration.
Creating a unique space.
Right. She calls Lóng Tíng not a company, but a constellation.
A constellation. What does that mean in practice?
Well, the source implies it's more about interconnected, maybe independent initiatives, not a rigid top-down structure. a flexible space designed to nurture creation, connection, and to challenge how we usually think about leadership, education, change, fusing those seemingly opposite elements.
Strategy and stillness. Leadership and love. Interesting. And Journey to the West is one of the brightest stars in that constellation, then.
Seems so. A transcultural concert series, diplomacy without flags, a sonic ritual, remembering what systems forget.
And it started quietly, in spirit, not on a stage.
Right. And when that idea was whispered, that first artist replied. Not with conditions, but with that incredibly deep resonance.
That reply again. Your invitation moved me. I would be honored to take part in this journey, not only as an artist, but as a human being who believes in the power of cultural memory and transnational connection.
It really captures it, doesn't it?
It perfectly exemplifies what Lóng Tíng seems to be about. Confirmation it wasn't just another gig.
Yeah, it feels like the living heart of their whole philosophy. Leadership that listens, creativity that connects, memory that sings.
So as these next waves of invitation go out, the invitation is also for you listening now, to listen with us, to walk this journey, not just watching, but being part of the resonance.
Because the project really belongs to anyone who still believes music can be sacred.
That bridges can be built through beauty, that the future needs rhythm, not just rules. We are gathering the voices, we are tuning the silence, we are walking westward, inward, forward. The stage isn't built yet, the lights aren't lit.
But the constellation is already shining. You know, this whole deep dive into Journey to the West, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What silence in our own lives, or maybe in our communities, is just waiting to be tuned, waiting to become a calling for change or for connection, even before the first voice is heard,